Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. Again, open our prayer booklet and open the page 1. Page 5. back to English, page 5. Summon the Buddha, Vajrasattva, Brahma Vajra, Mandala
the essence of all the Buddhist spirits, the one who shows clearly the Dharmakaya. We praise the Honorable Guru, glorious teacher, precious one, dwelling on the lotus seat on the crown of my head. Hold me with your great kindness, bestow the accomplishments of body, speech, and mind.
Vajrasattva practices at page 41. Chom dende bara durje sambala santa elo om bendra sattva sammaya mana balaya bendra sattva deno ba titane do me bhava sukde khayo me bhava sukde chayo me bhava anarakto me bhava sarva siddhi me rai tasarva krama sutta me tadam jirayan guru hong ha ho bhagavi Sarvada Thanga Dam Bendra Mami Munza Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sadho Om Bendra Sadho Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sadho Tenova Titane Do Me Bhava Sukti Kayo Me Bhava Sukti Chayo Me Bhava Anarato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Rayeta Sarva Karma Sutta Me Tadam Jirayan Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhaga Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mami Munza Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sadho Om Bendra Sadho Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sadho Tenoba Titane Do Me Bhava Sukti Kayo Me Bhava Sukti Chayo Me Bhava Anarato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Rayeta Sarva Karma Sutta Me Tadam Jirayan Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhaga Tanga Bendra Mami Munza Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sadho Om Bendra Sadho Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sadho Tenoba Titane Do Me Bhava Sukti Kayo Me Bhava Sukti Chayo Me Bhava Anarato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Rayeta Sarva Karma Sutta Me Tadam Jirayan Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhaga Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mami Munza Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sadho Om Bendra Sadho Me 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 Sadho Om Bendra Sadho. Back to page 7. Soye Biju Soye Medo Ere Roiling Ye De Jambande Sanje Kendo Mede Bravaye Ndogana Ndagelo Jobara Jo Edam Guroren Mandala Kendriyada Ya Me Semje Namje Sambadeng Loye Sevra Jedo Ve Chechong Tumong Tupai Chujang Korolo Gorodo So the art is the Lulum Sunjilo, so you don't go to the Punjum by Circulum, but over Jibako, he checked the Jerbochi. Some other organs all in Bemadum Bolo, a Jervan of Jero, inside the weather and the number of hobby manionation. Yes, a Jerabas and Mezo, him, Jesus, or Kunyan, Hebawanja by Yam Kani, so you're also one day, Jerion or Wedding. Chanjuni Bening of Jezo, Baugundas, Hadema, Jimmy, Mandala, or one day, in the Malendo, the Meso, covered in the children among men. Shaki said, Joan Kani, Joan, or one day, the Zunjera, Regan, young Holojurabana, one on the one. Pemajuna, Yavlas, or one day, but you just Yankari to Jedru, one other Tabin, Trasan de Yavlas, or one day, you can your money, Jergens or Anico, but to me, other Yavlas, or one day, and I was in Gomez in the long rest of the Kunz and Jambo, but the Kuni Baron, and Polos, or one day, and Chile, but they on the Joga, Abazan, and the Ravachi, Long Wayalas, or one day, or Jodo, or Gigi, I think Jamjas, Longolos, or one day, so Jimmy. Tadan Rava, Brasangelo, issues the Conjinola, that to me was I am not told Longin Nakuman, Yimun Bayalas, or one day, the Jaros, a boy, and the trouble was a shower, someone of the Haran, when you should young Golos, or one day. Ratonja Barjonism, Jagumban, never better union, the Chindo Javan, Mohanja, and Jolo, and the Human and then Dorjes, Homo, and there came one day, you heard of them, Jonjo. You write a Dorjala, Sora, and the Jim and Yozon, has also on the Baba, no Jerky, Hakoyan, Jabrakum, Yamadara, Sora, and the Partisan, Jim, Merum, Joy, Major without some Jikira, Namara, Jibin, Yavla, Sora, and the on the Sanjak. Condemn, Codisanje Condemn, Gonzala, Lama Javlazo. The son of Alona, Chula, Janello, Topaja, Zenjalo, you took whether you drew a thing, to give you drew a thing, the Teton de Dema. Gypsy Lama Zenjalo, Juzunja was Zenjalo, which you loved under Zenjilo, Lantrava, or Zenjil, Tandation and Javrasan. Those or on the subject of Ganjidino, if there is some Rajawagan, so that under Tomachi, Charmy, Sambrando Vadam, Jen, Darnay, Loyagat and Lodian of Jagatum, Dading Mayakan, and Dua Kunjadana, Tamjaka, the Chief Dan, though is a Sundam Rajanda, Chijan, Bush of Rajelo, the Simjin Jet on the Dungeon, Tamanam Jin, the Simjin Jet on the Dungeon, Tamanam Jin, and the Simjin Jet on the Dungeon, Tamanam Jin, and the Jarakan Jet, and Bajin, Sanja Jobakan, the years of Mojoba, number you. Mount Garbak on the Jevara.
Again, thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome again. Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Again, everywhere, wherever they're watching this teaching, I wish everyone is welcome and thank you all for your joyful effort, courage, and commitment and inspiration upholding the teaching of the Buddha Dharma according our best capabilities, your best capabilities, with the devotion and courage and commitment. We make a difference in our lives and the lives of others. We're contributing big vision, big things to the world and to the future. So I thank you to all and every of you. Thank you, okay? Thank you again. And today we're touching to the teaching of the Buddha, and particularly again the very basic practices of the Buddha's teachings. Then not just only those basic things, but also kind of incorporate every teachings into that something we can practice, not contradicting. It's nothing but that teaching is contradicting. From the day one, his teaching, all the way to his enlightenment or his Mahaparinirvana, every teaching is very powerful, very special, very practical, and very, very direct teaching that will discover our innate nature and nature of every living being in the context of love, joy, appreciation, harmony, peaceful, non-violence. That everyone we really like to be that way and appreciate it. No one is ignored, no one is rejected, everyone is included, because this teaching talks everyone's nature, everyone's beauty, everyone's a good quality, how re-strengthen, how bounce back to our nature, how to come back us to home, sweet home, that where really actually belongs. That is what this teaching is all about. Therefore, this is very uplifting, rewarding, encouraging teachings that what we discussing. So therefore, again, is very special and is entirely teaching of the Buddha. Bring one to these practices, not just a Hinayana, that select, then Mahayana, Vajrayana kind of selected, divided that, but all that teachings. And many great masters used to say, and Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche used to say, and my father, Lama Chimi, always used to say, that every Buddha's teaching, even one single word, don't have to be rejected. All is his teaching, because all is touching to our nature, our truth, our quality, and everyone's nature. I'm not just talking our, but everyone's teaching. Nature, it really touched to their core and their nature itself to bring up. Therefore, it is so special. So today, we started with the very basic understanding of the way the samsara is, such as including ourselves. Started from us, not started from outside, starting with us. Therefore, we touch to ourselves, we see how precious our life is. That's what the Buddha said. The precious life, the 18 endowments, or 18 very beautiful qualities that we all have. You have, we have, everybody has that beautiful qualities. Glorify that, joy, cherish, and strengthen our joy and appreciation. How beautiful life is, how beautiful, precious it is, how special it is. It's much more precious than the same size of gold or diamond or the silver things. It's much more precious. That we have that. This is a vehicle of to do many beautiful things to us, to all the beings. Therefore, enjoy the beautiful life, beautiful, precious. Recognize that, joyful, gratitude. That is what we started. And then we look around that. Around, everything is also based on the impermanent. Everything is moving. Impermanent is nothing bad. Actually, there is impermanent, therefore we can progress, we can make the difference. If everything is stuck, we cannot do anything. Impermanent shows variety of the opportunity, variety of the freedom. That's what the impermanent is so special. If we use the right way, it is beautiful. Therefore, kind of see everything is changing, everything is moving. That. And kind of therefore, just have the great courage and commitment to make the really meaningful of these very precious lives. That. And then, same time, whatever we do is reflecting back to us. Whatever we do, there's nothing is coming without any cause and condition. Everything follows with the same orders. And therefore, be thoughtful, be kind of mindful. Every action trying to do something good, that because it will reflect to us good things and reflect that good things to the others. If we like to make it really everything is beautiful, bright and good things, that we should start right with us. Our own activities, body, speech, mind activities. If we do good things, it will reflect back to us good things to all the others, not just only us, because our goal is to benefit to all the living beings. Therefore, again, in that goal, do the good things. And that is known as the law of karmas. And then in the samsara generally we look, there's so many, all these difficulties and changes, ups and downs. This is nothing that we're talking again, new things, but it's truly, it is. We have all different things. Because this is also, samsara has a lot of these difficulty, troubles, and a lot of change. Therefore, we can really progress. We can develop that. Because this is, in a way, the samsara is filled of trainings, where we can train ourselves. We can make ourselves strong. If everything is good and all these things, we won't progress anything. We will become almost the very soft and very kind of like marshmallows, unuseful. Really will become that. So therefore, samsara has hard and difficulty and challenging things. And we keep up that with courage and commitment and confidence with teaching hard, we will become so strong. We will become the warriors. We will become the bravery. Bravery in a warrior not just comes from the not doing anything. Bravery in a warrior comes with doing good things, move with challenge, overcome that. Then That is known as the warriors. That's the word in the Buddha teaching, bodhisattvas, courageous for the enlightenment, courageous for all the living beings. Truly that is what it is. So samsara is not something that bad in things. In a way, if we use this situation, circumstance, we can prove, and that is also not just that we can prove. It was witnessed by all these great practitioners in the past. All those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, everyone, they move this. They're also facing this all same thing, situation and circumstances. That because of that, their courage and commitment, confidence, visions are not wavered or shaken, but even stronger and more powerful. And then they become as enlightened beings, bodhisattvas and so forth. So therefore, this is what the four reflection that all reverse our mind from the kind of timid situations, very feeble situations. It makes us stronger and courageous ones. And after that, once with that understanding beautifully and kind of have that knowledge goodly, strongly, and then we take the refuges. Refuge is the root of the teachings. It is that every root of the path is best on the really refuges. So that take refuge. Refuge close to the feeling with to the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Essence of refuge, as I said this morning, is devotions. Devotion and strong devotion, closeness feeling with the Buddhas and Dharmas and the Sanghas. Once we take the refuge, then essential of the path, or the central column of the path is bodhicitta. And bodhicitta, as I said, and you basically you already know this, bodhicitta is love, bodhicitta is compassion, bodhicitta is wisdom. Combined together, all that beautiful things is known as bodhicitta, the enlightenment. This bodhicitta is so important. Without the bodhicitta, we will not become the Buddha. That means we will never overcome of our obscurations. What is obscuration? Obscurations are ignorance, attachment, anger, jealous, and arrogance. Without the bodhicitta, we will not overcome and remove these 5 obstacles. Never overcome that. And also without the bodhicitta, we can't help benefit to any sentient beings. Not just only sentient beings, we won't benefit to ourselves. Bodhicitta is essential to make happy ourselves, one's own self, to make happy others, to make peace for ourselves, to make peace for others. That is bodhicitta. That means it's love, it's compassion, it's wisdoms. And for that reason, great Master Padmasambhava Rinpoche said, as Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche used to take many times quotations. What Padmasambhava Rinpoche says? If you have one thing that will end up to reach the Buddhahood or to defeat all the negativities, it's bodhicitta. If we don't have bodhicitta, no matter how much practice you have, how many fancy practice you have named, all these things, it's not going to work at all. It's all within the ego territories, attachment territories, all emotion territories. It's never going to work, as explained that. So, for that reason, the bodhicitta is so important, so special, so powerful. Bodhicitta is what that bodhicitta, as I said this morning, is simple, beautiful quality of our own true love, true compassion, true wisdom. That is what the bodhicitta. But we are going to expand that without any territories of the dualities and habit patterns, and to all the beings, to love to all the beings, compassion to all the beings, and have understanding of the nature of everything, both externally, internally, everything, wisdom. That is bodhicitta. Where to develop this bodhicitta in the Buddha teaching said, there's many different explanations, but which is mostly kind of very powerful, more direct. There is 2 bodhicitta, wishing bodhicitta and actualizing bodhicitta, as I said this morning, and many of you know that. Bodhicittas. Wishing bodhicitta and actualizing bodhicitta. Something that you wished in the heart and the mind. As we wish in heart and mind, we begin to actualizing that with the physical activity, with the verbal activities, we're actualizing that. That's called actualizing bodhicitta. Now we talk about thing of the wishing bodhicitta. What is wishing bodhicitta? All the wishing bodhicitta can be summarized into 4. Again, many of you know that practice. We all know that this is called 4 boundless practices. 4 boundless practices of the bodhicitta. That is wishing bodhicitta. 4 boundless. What are the 4 boundless? Is first just our name. I mean, you all know. Loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Understand? This is 4 special quality of our nature of the mind. Love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. This is. And what it means boundless. Now we're going to the present time our this love, compassion, joy, equanimity is with bounded. These present times, or many of us, present time is bounded because ego clinging, because of the habit pattern, because of duality is very limited. That is not the boundless. It's limited. It's bounded within the boundaries. But when we really genuinely developing this boundless bodhicitta, then we're going to break that borders and territories, that wall. That's what called boundless. It has no border. It has no limitation, no restrictions. It's outreaching quality of love and compassion, joy, and equanimity to all the living beings. 365 degree angles, every directions is pervasive. Not just only now, but also on the future time, all the way future to everywhere. So there is no division by the space, no division by the times. It's beyond the time and the space of that. That is called boundless. Love is beyond, when emanating that love, beyond the space and time, and as well as compassion, as well as joy, and as well as equanimity. That is known as boundless. And also, what is boundless? What means boundless? We are also reaching this love and compassion, this boundless qualities, to all the sentient beings, to every sentient living beings. And the number of the sentient beings, how many are there? According to Buddha's teaching, countless. There is no count. And therefore, our love and compassion and joy and equanimity has no count. There is not that many. It's countless. It's boundless. It's limitless. That is what we are reaching. As that much, our heart, your heart, is opened like also limitless, boundless, vastness. So there an object level, where is touching, is boundless, where is coming, is boundless. And then not just that, what is power of that is also boundless. Power is boundless. Power, love and compassion, wisdom is boundless. There is no count. It's boundless. And your way coming from is boundless. Anybody can tell the border of your mind, own mind? No, nobody can tell the border of your mind, depth of your mind, territorial of your mind, or our mind, my mind, your mind, is boundless. As is boundless, we are opening that boundless quality exactly as it is. And boundless to the beings, boundless resource, and boundless benefit result. Therefore, it is known as boundless, for boundless. For boundless. And you all know what is love now. Love is lovely, beautiful, something very pleasing. That is love. So all the sentient beings, everyone is something pleasurable, beautiful. Each and everyone has beautiful qualities. No matter whatever they are in the situation or circumstance, but reality so special, so beautiful. It is a display of their own beauty in the nature of that times. It's so beautiful. And seeing that beauty as it is, and then you match that beautiful qualities with your love and compassion. Appreciate that. That is loving kindness. Also with all the sentient beings, example, with all the others, we're not going to improve ourselves. With all the sentient beings, we're not going to become the Buddhahood. For example, according to Buddhism, Buddhist point of view, we're not going to become Buddhahood. For that reason, many great masters, and said, and as well as there's a very famous master known as the Shakyamuni, very famous master. He said, there is no difference between Buddha and the sentient beings to become ourselves a Buddha. Buddha showed the path and the techniques, and the sentient being shows the directly training of our practices. With other sentient beings, we're not going to become the Buddhahood. Where we're going to practice the four boundless, where we're going to practice the six paramatas. With all the sentient beings. So therefore, both are in that level. Kind, Buddha is kind, or Buddhas are kind, sentient beings are kind. These kindness of beings, then beautiful, spiritual, to love to them. That is really about the loving kindness, love. And what is compassion? Compassion is when you love someone, and love the one having some difficulty, troubles, experience difficult troubles, you like to be support and help and ease their difficulty and troubles. You like to sincerely like to help. For example, when we love to our children or our families, our relatives, our friends, if they are having difficult troubles, you really sincerely like to help to them. You like to remove their suffering, the difficulty, ease their troubles, so whatever that, according to your best capabilities. That is compassion. Is the outreaching, reaching mental, beautiful activity that like to ease that trouble. That is compassion. Like to remove that sufferings, sincerely wishing that. And then what is this? Joy. Every human you loved ones having good times, or they having beautiful performance in their lives, we should feel joy. We should appreciate how wonderful, how beautiful, and even they are. Whatever they have good performance, enjoy, kind of appreciate that. That is known as joy and appreciate. Kind of joy and appreciation. So fulfillment for any sentient beings, every beings, and that is joy. And equanimity. Again, equanimity has a different understanding. Many of you all know that has many different meanings. But in this case, equanimity means just we all equal. Everyone is equal. There's nothing any difference between me and you and others, or he, she, and everyone is equal. Biological we are equal, feeling level equal, and what we share is equal. There's nothing really different. We live in the same on this earth. We breathe the same air. We have the same sunlight, same moonlight, same thing. And we eat the similar things, food that which gives from the Mother Earth, and there's nothing. And our feeling level is the same. We like to be happy, joy, peace, and we don't like to be suffered, sad, and difficult, and tormented by anyone, or used to take advantage by anyone. So we are same. Whether we can speak that feeling, whether we can't speak the feeling, but same thing. The desire is the same. Destination is the same. We like to be happy, joy, peaceful. So everyone is the same. That means. And bring that understanding equal. Everyone is the same. Therefore, like to be happy and joy and peace, may they all have that. This is known as the four boundless. And how to put that in practice? We have beautiful practice that you all have. You all know, mostly we all know. This is called four boundless practices, which is taught by great masters and Buddhas. Masters taught how to say that word, to activate that qualities, kind of glorify that. And first is, again, love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May all, first is how to activate loving kindness, boundless loving kindness. May all living beings have the great happiness and cause of happiness. That is the practicing of the loving kindness, boundless loving kindness. May all living beings have the happiness and cause of happiness. So that means you're praying to have everyone's happiness now, but not just only now, last forever. And forever, that is cause. If there is a cause and conditions, it then continue the happiness. If there is no cause and conditions, then we could have ended up opposite of that. So therefore, sincerely wishing that from our deep of our heart, wishing may all living beings have the happiness. Every living beings have the happiness and cause of happiness. And cause of happiness, what is cause of happiness? Cause of happiness is love. Cause of happiness is joy. Cause of happiness is appreciations. Cause of happiness is kindness. Cause of happiness is wisdoms. May they have always that quality in their heart, without it disturbed by the ego clinging, without it disturbed by the habit patterns, always shine their heart. If that shine their heart, the activity of the will be physical activity, will be the activity of loving kindness, compassion, kindness, and their verbal communication, speech will be with the speech of kindness, compassion, love, and then everything will be beautiful. Everything will be happiness. Things result of happiness, cause of happiness. We're wishing that sincerely from our heart. Heart. That is what called practice of the boundless love. And that is not just only one, not two, not three, not 100,000 and tens thousand or the millions or the trillions or billions, but all the sentient beings. That's what we took. May all the living beings have the happiness and cause of happiness. Many times in the Buddhism teaching said, may all the parent living beings have the happiness and cause of happiness. And according to Buddha's teaching, this life, what we have now, is not just first time we came here, nor it will not be only last. This life is just a life. One of the, now we are moving lives. We are continuing garland of lives. And most of the time when we take the life in this samsara, we had the parents. Most of the time. Actually, there is in the Buddha's teaching, there's 4 different ways to take the birth in these realms. Among that, the parent, taking birth with parent is one of the very popular way to take the birth in this life, in the samsara. Yeah, it is. And therefore, every living being, according to Buddha's teaching, once at a time, one way or the other, be our parents. And therefore, among all the beings, the parent is considering very kindness. Particularly within the parent, in the Buddha teaching, many times said, as you read too, motherly sentient beings. Mother is take the mostly challenge to upgrowth of our where we are. Most time, she hold us 10 months in the wombs or 9 months. And during that time, so many difficulties, so many challenges, so many things went up and down. But she never wavered her compassion, her love to her upcoming babies. She always with joyful. She always excited to see that. And then when we take the birth, also mother went in the Buddha teaching and Guru Padmasambhava teaching said that time mother and the child will go almost halfway to the death. They have so many difficult challenges, but still mother didn't waver with difficulty, mother didn't blame, and she continually uphold and looking forward to see that. And then when we born, we don't know anything. anything, infant. We don't know anything, our future. We don't know anything, our past. Completely blended, except what we know. We crying that. But again, mother joyfully accepted and nourished it, cut the cords between her and that babies, very joyfully and nourish it and give the tender love and compassion and feed our with breastfeedings. All those things in the Buddha teaching said, mother is one of the kind and most kindest beings that to us, to outgrow what we are now. At that time, mother neglected, the mother threw away, we won't be like this, what we are now. We won't. I'm sure, of course, mothers are not enlightened beings. They can take some mistakes. Even with without knowing, sometimes they can make mistakes. Unaware, sometimes mistakes. That can be. But however, deep down, mother being so kind, so nourished, so simple, every time, all the way up growth. And times, that many purpose, you all know that, when we become babies, even if we start walking, a little bit 1 or 2 steps, how mother will say, or my parents will say, oh, now my baby is walking. My baby start walking. They kind of excited. Otherwise, what a big deal walking this in one way. But because of their love, their kindness, their concern, their appreciation, what they have, even they're walking, they will say, oh, now start walking. That becomes almost kind of history events for them. That is how that means they kiss. And then when we go to the bathrooms, let's go to poo-poos, see that. And we started really doing the regular way of poo-poos. Oh, now they're doing the poo-poos right way. This is all true. This all shows how affection they have, how love they have, how kindness they are. Truly that. If that and they neglect and grow something, drop somewhere, we won't be like what we are now. Now, so all this, when you look back, is kindness. And therefore in the Buddhism, said kindness sentient beings and motherly sentient beings. And these motherly sentient beings, now we are quite strong, good, alert, through their kindness, their supporters. Now we like to pay back to their kindness. We like to repay gratitude to them, and that even we couldn't do anything physically or that, but wishing that this is the way we started to benefit, to help to all the sentient beings. That's wishing. So may all sentient beings have the happiness and cause of happiness. And then second is the boundless compassion practices. Boundless compassion practice is, then may all living beings, or may all motherly sentient beings, free from sufferings and cause of sufferings. Free from suffering and cause of sufferings. And now, what is? Again, we're wishing that not now, only now, but on the future, there is no more sufferings. So there is no more sufferings. So what is that? Then is happiness. Then is beautiful and joyful. That what is the cause of sufferings? Cause of sufferings, again, is negative emotions. Negative emotions, such as ignorance, attachment, and anger, and jealousness, and arrogance. Those are the cause of sufferings. Those are the cause of sufferings. With the combination of that, when it acted with verbally, when physically, and also even mentally sizzling in the heart and mind, it makes uncomfortable. It makes sufferings to anyone's. In that individual, they start, when it's reflected externally, then it becomes the disasters, unhealthy things, and then it creates suffering. That not ended there. It is, we plant the seed. We started that. It goes on. That's the called law of the karmas. When you plant the seed, for example, fruit seed, one seed fruit we planted on the ground, how many fruit from that will bring? One orange seed will bring hundreds of the oranges, one after another, endless. As long as the condition and circumstances there, it will bring continually oranges, year after year, each time, hundreds of the oranges. Similarly, that's the seed. When we started, it will bear the similar fruit, that. And therefore, we like to remove that cause of the suffering. It's anger, and the jealous, and the attachment, and ignorance, and arrogance, and a combination of those all. That is what it is. So, wishing that. And then the next is joy. Joy. May every living being have the great, always have the great joy, never separated from supreme happiness. And that is, and basically the same, meaning is the same, cause is the same as loving kindness. And then may everyone has great realization of equanimity. First, equanimity realization, we all equal. Everyone is equal. Then in the more deeper level, relative truth and absolute truth, everything is in one equal state. There's nothing really different. All equal. So everyone has great realization of equanimity in their heart and mind. Sincerely kind of wishing that and saying this word is called practicing of the Four Boundless. And when you put that in action, this Four Boundless practice in action, actualize this Four Boundless, then what is called? Those Tongni practices. The many of you know that, Tongni practices. Exchanging, receiving, and sharing or giving. Those all Tongni practices are activating the Four Boundless practices. And first, again, to do this, we all equal. That is very important. We are all equal, same way, feeling, emotionally, psychologically, physically, biologically, all equal. Kind of bring that equal realizations, equal understandings. It's true. And secondly, since no one likes to be happy, sad and suffering, everybody likes happy and peace, and therefore, when anybody is experiencing that difficult troubles, then you start giving your joy and happiness to the others, and if you are courageously then receiving their difficulty troubles back to yourself. That is called Tongni practices. So Tongni practice is activating Four Boundless practice with mentally, which is so powerful, so beautiful, so spacious. This Tongni practice is, I think also, there's so many stories. When you practice of a Tongni practice, when you practice of this like Four Boundless practice, even mentally, that thinking really sincere in the heart, mind is so powerful. It is healing, it is a purification, it is a cleansing, it is like removing all obscurations. It will then advance our realizations. This Four Boundless practice is so powerful, so spacious, so natural, so authentic, so pristine in a way. Really, such as no negativity is an ego clinging kind of stains. It's just so beautiful. And therefore this is so spiritual. And this so in the Buddha's teaching that once upon a time Buddha was born as one. Again, this is a long story, I will make it short, but he experienced so many difficult troubles one after. First he got so many good things one after another, that once upon a time Buddha was born as merchant there who goes to the ocean, and then Buddha went to oceans that time. He's not that time Buddha, but it's called, his name was Nzahui Pomo. And Nzahui Pomo went to the ocean, and the mother really said sincerely, please don't go to the ocean. And my husband and your father died in the ocean. I don't want you to go to the ocean, and please don't go. And he's determined to go ocean because that is he liked to do. What the father did, he liked to do the same way. So finally he just said, mother couldn't stop, and even mother hold his legs trying to prevent to go, and he kicked to the mother, and he left. Otherwise, he was so kind, so obedient to the mother, but that day he just left, kicked the mother, and then he left with his friends to the ocean. Ancient time, in the story, there's so many times people goes to the ocean to get the jewel or to get the treasures. So he left. So when they're in the ocean, and there's a big hurricane or the cyclone came, and that boat was upside down, and everybody was completely started sinking. And many people survived, and then one of them, that time, he was survived because he hold piece of the wood from the ship and holding that and kind of swing with that. And then he had experience in the different kind of those islands. He had the good time and one after another, but still he liked to go to the south. Kind of like southern is his hobby, to go to south and south. So up each time in the said he had indication, don't go south. But he went south one after another. Finally he reached to the one big, what's called, big iron house, has only one door. He has so curious, he liked to go inside, and some kind of also indication he shouldn't go inside, and he just, even that indication, he didn't kind of like trust it or follow that indication. He liked to go to see what is inside of that big iron house in one door. And when he went to that iron house, the door immediately shut down. So now he was inside. He can't go away. Inside there's one man, completely kind of like swollen. He's standing there, and kind of like will is going to his head. Will is going to his head, like spinning will is going to his head, and is also really the kind of completely what's called the smashing his brains that he saw. He thought, oh, so terrible how that happened. He kind of feel really sincerely compassion that. But same time he's scared, he liked to run away from that. But he couldn't go because the door was shut. Immediately in the sky, the sky kind of came the sound. What is bounded, released, which is not bounded. That sound came in the sky or in the space. That happened the moment that will released that person's immediately, and that will came on his head, and Dharma's head, who was former life of the Buddha. Now his head is the spinning, and then it is become so uncomfortable, so painful. He was scared. And just frightening that. But that as soon as that happened, then he got the courage. He thought, oh, I'm just one person if that happening. How many people goes like this? What I'm happening, may this become the substitute to every living being's pain and sufferings with headaches, and anyone who is going through this, and by this, may never sentient beings experience any headaches and head troubles, such as like, may I will take everything, may all that come to me. He had that sincerely Bodhicitta thought. That moment, the spinning well went up in the sky, and that became the veil of the flower garlands, and he was released. So this is one of the stories of the wishing Bodhicitta, and particularly pruning practices. That is so powerful, so special, so healing. So that is the really about the wishing bodhicittas. Now we talk a little bit about the actualizing bodhicitta. When we actualize this bodhicitta, how we do? This is called 6 paramita practices that you basically all know. So I'm not going to talk about these things, but 6 paramitas are what, just a list of names: generosity paramitas, and morality paramitas, and patient paramitas, joyful effort paramitas, and concentration paramitas, and wisdom paramitas. Those are known as 6 paramitas. Paramita, what that means, Sanskrit language. Paramita, transcendental, I think. That translated into English. So transcendental practice of the generosities, transcendental practice of the morality, transcendental practices of the patience, transcendental practices of the joyful effort, transcendental practices of the concentration, transcendental practices of wisdoms. Those are known as the 6 paramitas. 6 paramatas are, that means 6 paramatas are based on the Four Boundless. Wishing bodhicitta is the what you wish, but when that activating in the externally, with the physically, with the verbally, with the mentally, then this is the 6 paramata. So nature of this 6 paramata is Four Boundless. It's love, it's compassion, it's joy, it's equanimity. That is what the 6 paramata is. 6 paramata is not just separated from that. Generous practice is based on the Four Boundless. And the morality practice is based on the Four Boundless. And patient and so forth. All that is completely rooted, based, is inseparable. This with the Four Boundless. And Four Boundless is the essential of that. And every practice cooperated with that. That is known as activating bodhicitta activities. And that is basically practices of the bodhicittas. And to kind of with this realization, with that understanding, and then we join this prayers here. And page 30 here says, from now until the samsara become empty, I shall accomplish it with benefit and happiness all the sentient parent beings. That is you will say. You will say this praise sincerely from the heart and the mind in the presence of, as in the teaching said, beseeching the object of refuge, bear witness, and then join this prayer. Feel the presence of it. Object of refuge is Guru Padmasambhava, Buddha Shakyamuni, Tara, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, every living being, even in a great master, Shantideva said, you can feel the presence of all the gods and asuras, everyone right in front, even you can kind of feel all the sentient beings are right in front of you. They're watching you, they're hearing you what you say, they're seeing your intention thought. We say that. Truly, we're not lying, we're not just kind of like pretending, sincerely really we're wishing that from our deep of heart. That is what known as bodhicitta, mind of enlightenment. This is the essential of the entire practices. Whether we practice shamatha meditation, whether we practice Ngondro practices, whether we practice dzogchen, whether we practice Mahamudra practices, this bodhicitta is the essence. This is central columns that we really feel that. This. And bodhicitta is then, as the essence, is Four Boundless. And then when we activated that, 6 paramatas with that. So that is we joined. We joined, and that's so. So this is really about the bodhicittas. Now we move to this mandala offerings. Generally now, of course, this Ngondro practice is the very kind of instructions of the kind of big, long practices. That long practice that. This I'm talking now here. That. But when we put practices, we just put each time, for example, refuge one time, bodhicitta. Refuge in bodhicitta generally always comes to every practices, then you can focus. And then mandala offering, Vajrasattva, and so forth. So you can like select those practices, start with this refuge in bodhicitta, as well as that for training of the mind, for reverse of the mind, that you can reflect that thought for maybe a few minutes, and with that take refuge, you develop the bodhicitta, and then you can focus each of the Ngondro practices. So that is generally that. Of course, now today I'm talking all of this, that so it's kind of like, this is a little more kind of long or the detail that, but that's how it is. And now we move to the mandala offerings. Mandala offering is now it is spiritual practices of the Vajrayana teachings. Vajrayana teachings generally known as what? Of course, Buddha gave the Hinayana teaching, Mahayana teaching, Vajrayana teaching, every summarized that way. So there is 3 yana teachings. So the refuge is the started teaching in Hinayanas. Bodhicitta is the started teaching in the Mahayanas. And the mandala is as Vajrayana teachings. Within the Vajrayana teaching, every teaching we practice, we not really excluded that. anything. So we practice refuge, we practice bodhicitta, then we practice Vajrayana teachings. And Vajrayana teaching is what? Always known as full with skillful means and a lot of wisdoms. So combination of the skillful means, the wisdoms, that makes quicker to get our enlightenment, to discover our beautiful nature. And that is what called the reach of this Vajrayana teachings. And Vajrayana teaching has a lot of skillful means practices. This mandala is one of the skillful means practices. Very powerful practice, skillful means, looks like simple, kind of like very casual, but yet is so effective, so powerful to increasing the merit and removing the obscurations, negativities. And to remove the obscurations, that means to remove our habit pattern, negative habit pattern, unhealthy habit pattern, unwholesome habit pattern, we need more merit or good energy, good energies. This good energy is known as meritus. Meritus is then there is two kinds of merit in Buddha's teaching. You said that. Merit that comes from the activities, if I put simple kind of like words. And merit that comes from the non-activities. Merit. So that means the energy, the good energy that comes from the good activities, good energy that comes from no activities. There's two ways to come. And what is good activities, such as based upon the devotion and bodhicitta. Anything good activity if we do, that will generating then merit that comes from the activities. What is the merit that comes from the non-activity? That is simply meditating. Meditation is nothing that we do any particular. We rest in the nature state of the mind or nature status. Those are known as shamatha, vipassana or dzogchen meditations. We relax on the nature status, not doing anything particular, just simply relaxing. That also will gain the merit. So there is two ways to gain the merit, to remove the unwholesome habit patterns. That start with the unwholesome habit pattern, start with the ignorance, attachment, anger, jealous, hatred thought, and arrogance. That will remove, cleanse, and purify that. And so this mandala offering is merit that will generate with activities. And this, of course, now to do this, and then there's again to explain in many ways, but and maybe I just today talk simple ones. A simple one is then this is the mandala mudras. Mudras, that I think many of you already know this. This is the mudra. Mudra is what? I think if I translate roughly into English, is the symbols. Symbol or the signs. These are symbols. This is a symbol. But the symbols are generally so powerful, so spiritual. If we are highly intelligent, by the symbol we understand everything. Symbol. That is in the Vajrayana teaching, in the particular Nyingma teaching, what? Called symbolic transmission lineage. Everything by the symbols. There is no talks, verbal communication, this and that thing. By the signs and indication, everything is clearly understood. Everything completed this. And this is called symbols. And then in the mundane world, also symbol is so important. For example, to symbolize the United States of United States. What is? The national flags. I mean, there's maybe many symbols, but one is national flags. National flags symbolize entirely these great countries. It is a big symbol. And that kind of, like, all those people who know can tell all the stories from that symbol of this, what's called the Star Spangled Banners. Star Spangled Banners, you can tell all the stories. That is a symbol. I mean, symbol is so powerful, so spiritual. It has big meanings. And then Vajrayana teaching, there is so many symbols. Symbols. And among that, this is called mandala symbols. And mandala symbol is symbolized like this time. For example, entire universe. This is a symbol. This looks like kind of very simple. I mean, of course, it's simple, but yet it is so effective, so powerful. It is whole universe that symbolized by this. That is what offerings. And then, of course, whole universe. Universe what? It's called outer universe and inner universe. This symbolizes all that. Outer universe, inner universe, whole universe without any exceptions, without any left behind, exclude anything. It is symbol. This is the universe. At this time, what is this? For example, there is 5 things. 5 things. This is 5 things are the east, south, west, and north. This is 4. So 4 directions. 4 directions, and the center is Mountain Sumerus. So that is the according to Buddhism. This is the whole cosmology. Everything is this. And this is, inwardly is symbolized our physicals. This is what? This center symbolizes our head. This 4 these directions, 4 these limbs is for our limbs, 2 feet, 2 arms. That includes everything, our bodies. Then it is symbolized inward motion. Inward is 5 senses. Every senses. So this is symbolized everything. Now we are making that offering. Entire universe, externally entire universe, and inwardly our physical, our body, and more deeper level our senses, our intelligence, and then more deeper level our awareness, wisdoms, 5 wisdoms. All that we're making offerings. We're opening that. So this is very briefly. Otherwise, we use also according to tradition. When you practice mandala, such as can be like mandala offering mandala and practice mandalas, and then we use the mandala plate and so forth. But today, I just will go briefly about that. So with this is symbol of that. So everything, and also is including all the past lives activities, past lives, our wealth and belongings that we left behind somewhere that in the past lives, and the present time whatever we have, everything, our body, our speech, our wealth, and the future whatever we are going to do, anything that in the future lives, all even bring that everything right to here. In the mentally bring that, including all the universes that, and that is with this. Then in the teaching said also see kind of sun and moon and all that also visualize everything here. So externally everything, inwardly everything, our body, speech, mind, and that feel the strong presence of the Guru Padmasambhava, all of the refuge, Buddha, Shakyamuni, and Amitabha, and everyone lineage master right in front of that, and then you make that offering. So kind of really sincerely that you make this offering and chant these prayers. Serao, Kunje, Lude, Longchupa, Sonji Dosar Konjo Salambo, or he said the body, enjoyment, positions, and the glories, and the succession of all of my lives of the past and now, and then in all the succession lives of the futures, everything I offer to the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, order to complete it, to accumulate merit, is a wisdom merit, accumulation merit, in order to cleanse and purify the 2 obscurations, emotion obscuration and knowledge obscuration. That I removed completely, and with that sincerely thought and make that chant this, visualize that, meditate that, and chant these prayers. This is known as mandala offerings. And what is generally mandala offering? Nature of the mandala offering is among the 6 paramatas. What is this? It's generosity practices. Generosity. Generosity is what? Essence of generosity practice is sharing. Sharing your, sincerely you are ready to share. You really like to share to the others, not going to make the distractions. The sincerely sharing attitude is the nature of the generosity. And this time we're sharing everything. We are offering that, giving that to the Buddha, Dharma Sangha and Guru Padmasambhava, all the enlightened beings to do this. That is what Mandala Offerings are briefly that. So that is really about the Mandala Offerings. And now we move to the next is the Vajrasattva practices. Vajrasattva practice, again, as I said before, thank you. As I said before, now this Mandala Offering, Vajrasattva practices, Guru Yoga practices is known as the Vajrayana practices. It is Vajrayana, essence of the Vajrayana practices. Now, the Vajrasattva practice has two different steps, practices. We visualize Vajrasattva above our head. We remain ourselves as regular as what we are, and then practice Vajrasattva. Or we also, second step is we visualize ourselves as Vajrasattva, and then we practice Vajrasattva. There's two different steps. Both steps, generally, Vajrasattva practice is very famous to purifying our obscurations. And obscuration ours, and obscuration all the sentient beings. That is what the practice of the Vajrasattva. So it's very powerful purification practices. Now, practice generally, visualization of the Vajrasattva. What is Vajrasattva generally? First, of course, basically many of you already know. But Vajrasattva is totally enlightened beings. Totally Buddha. That means is remove all the obscurations and self-importance and grasping, clinging, duality, that removed completely cleared away and revealed the original nature, love and compassion, wisdom, completely. That is known as Vajrasattvas. And Vajrasattva is living Buddhas. It's not the past Buddha, it's not the upcoming future Buddha, it is a living Buddha. Also, Vajrasattva is known as embodiment of all the Buddhas. Embodiment of all the Buddhas, truly. And I often said, all Buddhas can be known as the peaceful wrath of deities, whatever, that all can come to the five Dhyana Buddhas. And all the five Dhyana Buddha can be summarized and concluded within the one Buddha. And that is the Buddha Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva is known as then Lord or the sovereign Buddha of all the enlightened beings. So that is the Vajrasattvas. And then Vajrasattva is so powerful to purifying the negativities, obscurations, obstacles. And the negativities are then, what is negativities? Negativity is then we have done many negativities by our, again, negative emotions. It's the same thing by ignorance, by attachment, by our anger, by our jealous, by our arrogance, we can do mistakes. That even we don't want, or we look that even we don't want to do, but sometimes unknowingly, unaware, we do mistakes. That mistake is a mistake whether we know or whether we don't know. Mistake become the mistakes. It's the same in the teaching said. Whether you know or whether you don't know, if we eat the poison, it will affect us. This is nothing that has to do. But negative is negatives. And that is now. Who did these negativities? Is our mind. Mind. And negative has no good quality at all. That. But one good quality is we can cleanse and purify. That is a good quality of the negativities. So, therefore, now this time, and there is also many different techniques to purify the negativities. In Hinayana teaching, Sutra Mahayana teaching, and Vajrayana teaching, but among all the techniques, and the Vajrasattva practice is the most powerful. In the Vajrayana teaching said every negativities can be cleansed and purified by the practicing of the Vajrasattva practice because of the Buddha Vajrasattva's his previous commitment, his inspirations. In the teaching said, after that, by hearing my names and practicing of the me, have not cleansed and purified the negativity of the sentient beings, I will not become the Buddha, or I will not become the Buddhas. He made the commitment. And it's as he made the commitment, if we practice the meditate, it cleanses the purified negativity. Therefore, Buddha Vajrasattva become the Buddhas, fulfill his commitment. So for that reason, then Vajrasattva is so powerful, so special practices to cleanse and purify negativities. And negativities of our past, negativities of these lifetimes, negativities maybe will happen in the future. All that negativity we get together and cleanse and purify that. So that is really about how we practice a kind of meaning of the Vajrasattva, meaning of the power of the Vajrasattvas. Now we talk how to do cleanse and purify the negativities. Generally, always in the teaching, you said whenever you know, always we should think 4 powers. 4 powers if we do, then really will purify the negativities. First is the power of the object. Second, the power of the recognize the mistakes and the errors. And the third is power of the determination of not repeating. And the fourth is power of the using or applying the antidotes. So those are the 4 powers. If 4 powers ever used, no matter how the negativities are big, can be removed, can be cleaned, can be completely burned away. That. So therefore, this is 4 powers. First power of the object, there is 2 powers. Power of the object of the external, power object of the inner powers. And first power of the object is, I already explained, and you already know, is Buddha Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva, male and females. With that is what we visualize. Both Buddha Vajrasattva, male and female, and this total enlightenment I mentioned already. That is the power of the object of external. Power of the object of inward is your devotions, your bodhicitta, our determinations that we like to cleanse and purify it. That is the inner power. Now, inner power of the object and the outer power of the object combined together strongly, that then we visualize. That is become known as power of object. Now to visualize the Buddha Vajrasattva, we are going to visualize Buddha Vajrasattva right above our head and facing same directions. Same direction where we are facing ourselves. Buddha Vajrasattva is 1 face, 2 arms and 2 legs, sitting with the Vajra postures on the lotus and moon discs. And Vajrasattva is a union with the consort known as Nyingma. Also 1 face, 2 arms, 2 legs, and the union with that. And that is known as the power of the object of the external. And now when you visualize that Buddha Vajrasattva is also transcendental Western rainbow body. Transcendental Western rainbow body is transcendental Western rainbow body as a reflection moon in the water, not substantial solid existence. And his voice, or his or her voice, is also melodious voice of the soothing and calming in the teachings. It's calm and soothing, and sound of blissfulness, sound of the happy, peace. That is his voice, her voice. His wisdom mind is wisdom, compassion, love, and kindness, and then loving kindness. That is nothing. That is. So outside, inside his speech, and all that's absolute transcendental Western bodies. Then there is, of course, a well explaining of all the major and minor marks and the seven qualities of the peaceful Buddhas, and as well as as all that, but generally, so really, I won't go all those numbers right now, but all that is known as transcendental wisdom rainbow body. Vajrasattva is the embodiment of all Buddhas, as I said. He is the embodiment of all Buddhas of the past, present, and the future. Every Buddha, every enlightenment begins one triggered, one single state of this Buddha. That is the Buddha Vajrasattva. Buddha Vajrasattva, that means love and compassion, wisdom. All the Buddhas come together, one single state. In a total union of with concert, great blissfulness. And a transcendental, transparent, lucid status. That is what we were going to visualize. And merely thinking of the Vajrasattva and is remove all our suffering, the difficulty, trouble, and obscurations. And at the same time, as you visualize, you have strong devotions. Strong devotions. And also we practice this not just only for us, but we practice for all the sentient beings, to motherless sentient beings, to remove the suffering, the difficulty, troubles of every living being. And sincerely feel closeness feeling with Vajrasattva, with the devotions, without doubt and hesitation. That is the inner power of the object. So you visualize this. Now, so that is a kind of really about the power of the object. Second, power of the recognize our errors, mistakes. This is generally mistakes. When we see something mistakes that we made in our lives, since we had memories, by our negativities such as ignorance, attachment, and all that. If we see that, clearly remember something, now bring up that. Recognize error is error. Mistake is a mistake. Acknowledge it. We're not going to hide that with our ego clingings and arrogance or kind of hiding. We're going to really see, oh, I did mistakes. Now I'm going to cleanse it, purify that. And that is right, bring that right in front of us. Together with that, all the mistakes what we had the past, mistakes of the futures, and not just the cause of mistakes, the ignorance, attachment, anger, and jealousy. That also, whether we actively doing something that with that or not, this is a mistake. That is mistakes of the ego cling, mistakes of the dualities and habitual. I'm going to cleanse and purify that. Include duality, include ego cling itself, I'm going to cleanse and purify. Kind of strongly think that. So recognize that in a way, targeting that. You're targeting to cleanse and purify that. Third power is power of the not repeated that again. And particularly this time, that activity that hurt myself, hurt my friend, family member, or anyone once that going to hurt or did hurt. That is not good. I'm not going to repeat that again. Kind of by the blessings of all the lineage masters, Guru Padmasambhava, Vajrasattva, may I never repeat that unhealthy, unwholesome habit pattern activities again. That kind of have the very determination, conviction area, thought in your heart and mind, or our heart and mind. Strongly that, really that. May I'm not going to repeat that. May it never happen that again. Again, I'm going to stay very, very wholesome, clean, pure status that make benefit to beings. That. So that is called the power of the not repeating or uprooting. That will uproot the negativity and the power of not repeating that. Fourth is, because of that, now you're going to, as you recognize the target, you kind of recognize the target of the errors and mistakes, and then now we're going to use antidotes strongly. And antidote is, again, based upon the bodhicitta, based upon the devotions, and based upon the meditation, and then now we're going to recite the mantras. So we visualize the Vajrasattva right above as head, and then all that, and now you're going to recite the mantra. 100 syllable mantras is here mentioned. That 100 syllable mantra, here is it. As you recite in heart center of the Vajrasattva, there is a moon disk. Moon disk Vajrasattva, as is recited the mantra in the mantra, heart center, that moon drasika, there is a center of the moon drasika, in the heart center, there is a home syllable. Home syllable, white home syllable. That home syllable is circled by with these 100 syllables. Syllable. Moment you recite in the mantra, that also started shimmering and started reciting, and from that, lot of nectar started descended. From the heart center of the Vajrasattva, it came down through their union status, through the union, and then it came to our crown chakra, and then entered our body and cleansed all our negativities, cleansing that, and really feel that is removing, and that also that light is going to all the living beings, their cleansing, purify their obscuration, negativities, and then but more focus to yourself and cleansing, purifying, removing that everything negativity is gone away. All that recited this mantra if you have time, 7 times, 21 times at the beginning times. 21 times in beginning times. After that, Vajrasattva dissolved, Vajrasattva both male and female dissolved into light, and that light came down to your heart center. That moment you become the Vajrasattvas. Yourself now become the Vajrasattva, exactly same quality as we visualized. As we visualized. And then recite these short mantras. Short mantras. As maybe 1 mala. This is a short mantra, 1 mala. After that, then that all visualization is dissolved in your heart center, and heart center, nature of the mind, and nature of the mind is went beyond of any reference points, and relax, meditate in that nature status as long as you have time. I will say about maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And 5 minutes or whatever that. So that is really about the Vajrasattva practices. Vajrasattva practices. And now maybe you have some questions. Talk maybe a short time, and then I will go to the Guru Yoga. Or I just do continue now. Maybe do okay, continue. Okay, so the Guru Yoga practices. So now we completed what? Refuge, Bodhicitta, Mandala Offering or refuge with post station, Bodhicitta, Mandala Offering, and Vajrasattva, that we complete very simple or the essence meaning this. Now the 5th one or the 6th one is then practicing of the Guru Yoga. That is what is called here. Swiftly penetrating blessings of the Gurus. This is now blessings. So is swiftly receiving the blessings. What is the blessings? Blessings is unceasing energy of loving kindness, compassion, wisdom that started from the Buddha Shakyamuni or the Buddha Samadabhadra to Vajradhara, and then Buddha Shakyamuni, then continue to Guru Padmasambhava, Yichim Soja, and continually until now. From the masters to master or the disciple to disciple, continually unceasing lineage. That is now really we are receiving. When we receive that blessings and streams of that, what it does? It will activating our realization, our nature beautifully, and glorify that beautiful nature. And so that is the Buddha, the blessings. And that is to come. This is known as the practicing of the gurus, practice of the Guru Yogas. Now, what is generally gurus? Guru is then has generally again there is 2 meanings. A kind of simple way to tell, the outer guru and inner gurus. Outer guru is such as we are visualizing Guru Padmasambhava as embodiment of the old teachers, masters, lineage masters, all the Buddha Dharma Sangha, all Guru, Deva, Dakinis, all that what we visualize. That is the outer gurus. Inner guru is your devotions and your bodhicittas. and your devotion, the free from, or confidence. Confidence. And the devotion, confidence, and the bodhicitta is inner gurus. Together with that, as I said this morning, what is mindfulness, alertness, or cautiousness? Those are the inner gurus. Outer guru and inner gurus are combined together. That is the practices of the Guru Yogas. That now practices. To do this visualization or to practices, there is different systems, subsystems. Sometimes you can maintain as yourself as what we are, and then visualize the Guru Padmasambhava right in front of us or above our heads. And sometimes you can visualize the unique deities or Buddhas yourself and visualize Guru Padmasambhava right in front of our skies or the lineage masters. In this case here, said Vajrayoginis. So now we're going to visualize ourselves as Vajrayoginis in order to practice this. And this is again why we do the Vajrayoginis. Generally in the teaching said Vajrayogini is what? Known as mother of the all the Buddhas. Now we like to give the birth of ourselves as Buddha. We like to become birth of the Buddha in our heart and mind. Therefore, we connect to the mothers. Mother. And mother is known as Vajrayogini is mother of all the Buddhas, or the Panchaparamita is known as mother of all the Buddhas. And so this case, Vajrayogini is Panchaparamita, is Tara, is Yishin Soja. That is what we're going to visualize, as I said, to give the birth of the Buddhahood to ourselves now, to do that. And that is the what. And the Vajrayogini, or the what is mother of the old Buddha, means what? Generally is also known as wisdoms. Wisdom is the open wisdoms. Open wisdoms is free from any attachment, free from any grasp and clinging. That is the wisdoms. This, when we have that wisdoms, then we're ready to grow the Buddha or to give the birth of the Buddhas. And this is the nature of our mind. Nature of our mind is free from duality, free from the grasping, even though we didn't recognize yet immediately that, but that is really our nature. That is Dzogchen status. Dzogchen state is mother of all the Buddhas. So this time we visualize Vajrayogini or inseparably Yishin Soja. Soja is ourself. And Vajrayogini is then one face, two arms, two legs. Like sitting on the lotus, not sitting, sorry, standing, walking postures. Walking postures, standing on the lotus with walking postures, in one face, two arms, two legs, and with the reddish colors, and then she hold in the Dhammarus and the skull cups. Or some teachings say they also trident too. But anyway, and so that is our visualization. Our Vajrayogini is also transcendental wisdom rainbow bodies. Totally glowing wisdom, enlightened state in a letter radic status. That's glowing status. That is what we visualize. Right in front of the sky, we visualize Guru Padmasambhava, who is, as in the teaching said, our root teacher manifested from the Padmasambhava. So, our teacher, all our lineage masters, everything is come in one single state, as I said this morning, many times, is the Guru Padmasambhava. That's what we see. Guru Padmasambhava is one face, term as you all know, mostly you all know. And again, transcendental wisdom and body. Body, embodiment of all the Buddhas, everyone, that's what we see. That we visualize. That. And Guru Padmasambhava is looking to us, eye of love and compassion wisdoms. And with letter smiling, radiating light of love and compassion wisdom to us, to all the beings. We feel strong devotions, right? Strong devotions, and also strong kind of confidence and joy. Today, I'm going to reveal the perfect nature of my own self, and to order to benefit to all living beings. Really thinking that, strongly, sincerely wishing, beautifully wishing that, and then visualize Guru Padmasambhava. With that thought, and then join these following prayers here. Said that embodiment of all Buddhas 3 times without exceptions. Mostly excellent root teacher, I pray to you. And then here in these future lives and Pardo, in these 3 times, hold me your compassions. Bless ceaselessly throughout the 3 times. Join that 3 times. You can join this in Tibet, you can join this in English, but trying to catch the meaning sincerely. This is devotion call. This is devotion prayers, and this is what we like to be. What we like to be now, what we like to be in the Pardo, what we like to be future. And not just only what we like that prayer to all the sentient beings. May everyone become in that way, and protect and usher every path to the enlightened status. Really wish, sincerely wishing and praying that. Join this. As you join these prayers from the Guru Padmasambhava, also emanating so many lights to you, and also revealing instantly that nature. You already Vajra yogin state. You already in the Vajra Yishin Soja status. Great wisdom Yishin Soja state. Now revealing continually that nature. Exactly what Yishin Soja revealed. What the Vajra yogini is. That is what we really see this. Sincerely that. Kind of feel strong bond between Guru Padmasambhava and yourself. With the affection, with the loving kindness, with the devotion, and with the great blissfulness, very uplifting, and not just only this you and Guru Padmasambhava, but entirely universe is transformed in the pure land of Guru Padmasambhava, Copper Glory Mountains. Every inhabited beings are also in the Vidyadharas, male and females, or yogi and yoginis, everyone seen that. And with that strong devotion and strong confidence, and then reciting the mantra of Guru Padmasambhava. As you recite the mantra of Guru Padmasambhava, from Guru Padmasambhava emanating lot of light from his forehead, from his speech center, from his heart center, such as a white Om, red A, blue home, and multiple light from every pulse of his body, and coming to you showers that as rain down, and cleansing and purifying, activating our own Buddha natures in the absolute, utterly beautiful state, enlightened status, and whole universe is now transformed in that great blissfulness mandalas as it is. With then reciting this mantra, Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padmasambhava, as many as you can, or 1 mala, 2 mala, or 3 malas, or maybe at the beginning 21 times, whatever you can do, but strong devotion, without doubt and hesitations. This time also devotion means no doubt, no hesitations, no kind of any intellectual area, this and that, without interference that our thought, with all the thought, rest our mind, one single state of devotion and concentration, very relaxed, calm, peaceful atmospheres. Relax that nature states, and continue reciting the mantras. That is known as the practicing of the Guru Yogas. If we practice it this way, that every blessing, the realization will come so fast and so quickly, so immediately. And this devotion, generally, when we have the devotions, then everything comes so beautiful. And the Buddha's teaching said, when you don't have the doubt and hesitation, everything is fulfilled as you wish. Doubt and hesitations are the interference. And of course, at the beginning time when you're starting, when you are contemplating or studying time, we can have question and answer and doubt and hesitation, all these things, we can do that. But when you come to the practice time, really should be embraced that with the devotion. That means no doubt, no hesitation. Stay with the one point in the mind with that. And with that is, then in the Guru Padmasambhava teaching what it says, if you have the devotion, I was right with you, or I'm with you right that time. With the devotion, Guru Padmasambhava is right with us. And with the devotion, also all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are right with us. That And the Buddhas in Guru Padmasambhava or in any enlightenment has no distance between time and space. As soon as we have opened the door of our devotion, the Buddhas right in front of us, right with us. That. So, and for that reason, I mean, this is devotion practices, and that is what we should really stone. And then when the devotion comes, and then there is always realization dawns. And this is, for example, witnessed by all the great masters. When you read it, like for example, life story of the great master Nyingma Longpa, how his devotion is strong, and Long Chimpas, and devotion. So all realization comes with the devotions. Realization comes, and then, for example, great master Malarepas, his devotion, his unfailing that devotion that he get enlightenment within his lifetime. So that is Longchimpa, Nyingma. Everyone is this. There is a very famous master of the again Dudjom Rinpoche. I think it's one of the great masters of the Kagyu schools. He said, if you don't have the devotions, there is no sunlight of the blessing will come to you. If there is no sunlight of the blessings, then there is no realization will dawn. That. So the devotion is warm. Devotion is light. Devotion is then sizzling growth, signs of the realization. Without that, it's not going to happen. That. So devotion also means we settle to the practice now. We're not going to lingering with it, just hovering that. We really settled ourselves. So this is what the devotion is. After you practice this, as many as I said, one mala, after that, then you receive the final blessings. Those are known as the blessings of the body, speech, mind that you received. And that is then from the forehead of Guru Padmasambhava came white light came to your forehead or crown chakra. It cleansed all the body obscurations, receive the body blessings, and then began to actualize the Buddha Nirmakaya status. From the speech center, red R from Guru Padmasambhava emanated red light and enter your speech center, and that cleanse, you receive the speech blessings from Guru Padmasambhava and cleanse all our speech obscurations. You will begin to actualize Buddha Sambhokaya status. From the heart center of the Guru Padmasambhava emanating blue light, and that we receive the wisdom mind blessings from Guru Padmasambhava and cleansing the obscurations of our mind obscuration that cleanse the purify. We begin to actualizing Buddha Dharmakaya status. And then from the three places of the Guru Padmasambhava, forehead, speech, heart, sankara, three light come, or from the heart center, multiple light came once more again, so enter your three places of the heart center, and that you receive the entire blessings of body, speech, mind, and Guru Padmasambhava, cleanse the habitual obscurations of all our obscurations. We begin to actualize the ultimate state of the Buddhahood status, completely, or the Sobhavakaya status that you received. And finally, in Guru Padmasambhava, over excited, the joyful, your devotion is over, kind of like overwhelmed that, and that moment Guru Padmasambhava dissolved into multiple lights, become the small sphere of light, dissolved in Guru Padmasambhava, multiple sphere of light that come to you instantly, to your heart center, and then you mingled in your mind in Guru Padmasambhava, mingled without any separations, any difference, and you become one with Guru Padmasambhava, merging your mind with mind of the lineage masters of Guru Padmasambhava, and then meditating on that nature status as long as you time, and relax, not thinking the past, not thinking the future, not also wandering thought in any directions. Relax the fresh moment present status as it is, in that origin status, as long as you can, or as long as you have time. During that time, your mind won't stay exactly that way. And the moment you see mind is going away, don't follow the thought, don't analyze. Again, do the same. Relax on the natural status, without any deviation of the past, present, and future. Relax. Just relax the present status. That is known as freshness state of the original, ordinary Dharmakaya status and the Dzogchen state. That is what the practice is. Meditate. And then, so also to do these things here, like I said here, I mentioned already this, that this whether Guru, Kaya, Vaka, the chant those, and the final teacher dissolved. And then he has said, behold the emptiness awareness, the true face of Lama. Emptiness awareness is what that emptiness awareness? This is our own nature of the mind, or our mind. When you look to your mind, by your mind, or by your mind to your mind, what do you see? There's nothing to see. That is known as emptiness awareness. That's the ordinary nature. That is the ordinary nature where everything started. This is a nature. This is relax on that nature status. That is many times also known as present status. It's right present. It's fresh. It's not diluted by any conceptions. Relax in that nature state. This is known as Dzogchen status. This is also known as the Mahamudra status. This is known as the Panjaparamita status. This is also known as the Madhyamaka status. Relax on that. That is then the absolute Guru, absolute Buddha. Your innate nature, my innate nature. Relaxing that. And so that is really about the Guru Yoga practice. Now next one is then here, the additional practice here, the page 40 here, according to this, is the Phowa practices. I pray to the protector Amitabha, Buddha of limited light, grant me the blessings to become to accomplish in the profound path of Phowa. This is the Phowa practice. This is transferring the consciousness. This is generally kind of additional instructions, how we take care of ourselves, moment or the time of we live in this our body, physical status. Sooner or later, we will leave this our physical bodies. We're not going to stay with this forever. Therefore, how are we going to take care of ourselves? Most of the time, we leave our body without any goal, without any preparations, without any destinations. But this time, by the Buddha, by the Guru Padmasambhava, through their kindness, instructing us how we should be prepared, how we should be ready to leave this world with the style, with the destination, with the goal. That's really what it is. Phowa practices. Phowa practice. We live with confidence. We live with the goals. We will live with the visions. Visions. That's what I'm saying. We will live with the style. That's it. So for that is known as Phowa practices. But really, this practice is a preparation for that. And this is what our consciousness, there is always three intentions we should have. This is just, I'm talking briefly, three intentions. The intention of the destination, intention of the who is going to leave, intention of the passages. There's three ways. Or about the goal or the destination, traveler, and the passages. Three things. The destination is then here, Buddha Amitabha, the pure land of the Buddha Amitabha. Again, among all the Buddhas, Buddha Amitabha said, this is his aspirations. It's easy to take birth, easy to go to that places, than any other pure lands, Buddha lands. So therefore, here is Buddha Amitabha. So destination is Buddha Amitabha. And pure land of the Buddha Amitabha. Who is going to leave? Is our consciousness. Actually, who will take the rebirth? According to Buddhism, believes rebirth. Who is going to take rebirth? Not by body. Body will leave behind. But rebirth will take by consciousness. Our mind, that means your mind, my mind, will travel. That is what is going to travel. And so, this time, mind is travelers. How is going to travel? Travel, the passage. Passage is the channels. This time our channels. Body has so many channels, and again I'm not going to all those things, but this time we're going to see, pick up one channel. That's called central channels. Central channel is passage. Passage. We're going to, this usually, generally in the teaching said, when we leave the body, our consciousness can leave any places. Any place, any part of the body, we can live. But this time, we are making sure our consciousness will live through the central channel and through the upper crown chakras, holes. There is many holes or many kind of passages, principle. And of course, every pole of the body has holes, generally, according to Vajrayana teaching. But there is principal holes. Among the principal holes, there is one hole known as center hole of the central channels on our crown chakra. So we are going to use the central channel as our passage, and that the crown chakra hole will be used as our final exit doors. Exit door to go to the destination of the Pure Land or the Buddha Amitabhas. That is what we're going to visualize. So for that, again, this is just a simple in our technique, and we visualize the Buddha Amitabha right above our head. Again, the same way as Buddha Vajrasattva. And once above our head, we visualize the Buddha Amitabha. Buddha Amitabha is the same Buddha as embodiment. All Buddhas, transcendental, Vajrayana, as I mentioned earlier. Same call it, embodiment of that. And Buddha Amitabha is so calm, so peaceful, total enlightenment, totally loving kindness compared to us, to all the living beings. Strongly that, visualize that in glowing radiant light. And then we're going to visualize our consciousness in the heart centers. According generally in the Vajrayana teaching, our consciousness principal residence, residing place is heart center. So here we visualize heart and consciousness, and then we can visualize this central channel is a totally open clay as hollow tubes, glowing hollow tube, and we're going to see this moving up and up in the center channel, and then went to the heart center of the Buddha Amitabha. Can we just make that preparation? Of course, there's more instructions for practices, but that is just a kind of like that connection, that indication. When the time comes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to visualize and kind of see clearly my central channel and my consciousness, and that indicate, and then going to leave through the passage of that, and the final exit door, I will use ejected of my consciousness to the heart center of the Buddha Amitabha. Kind of thinking of that, and then join these prayers 3 times. So here, say the reciting as many times possible, motivated to transfer. That's the basically just this very simple way practice of the poem. That. And once we finish that, and then final one here said, and now this charity of the body and the dedication of the virtues. Now final one is then page 42, and this is now these first 2 lines. Here's 2 things. Now my body, possessions, and source of my virtues all together I give without clinging to all the beings who have been my parents. So that is charity of the bodies. And then may I accomplish great benefit unobstructedly for the beings. That is dedications of the virtues. Virtues benefit to all the sentient beings. So this is the 2 kind of like practices, or the two things. And the first is charity of the body is very really kind of condensed instructions of the 2 practices. I think many of you heard 2 practices. It's one of the great teachings of the Buddhas, and one of the great practices of the Tibetan Buddhism is known as 2 practices. This is started with, of course, time of the Guru Padmasambhava, and then as well as there is like 4 great lineage of the Chuk comes to Tibet by Guru Padmasambhava and by great master Marpa and by great master then Patamba Sanji, and then one great master, lady master, Machak Lapji Droma. So there is 4 great lineage comes to the Tibet in all that, and particularly to that you started. Particularly among all of that, then this last one, the great wisdom Dakini, Machik Labdu, was become the leading master of the Chuk practices, who came around 11th century. She is the emanation of Yishim Soja and the emanation of the Tara, and he was born in Tibet. And she is very famous. This Chuk practice, Chuk means Tibetan word. What that means? Cutting ego clinging, cutting the attachment. That is what. And mostly what we attach it and is to our body, and therefore immediately go to the heart and root to cut the clinging to the body. That is what this great master taught. This teaching is, of course, also teaching of the Buddhas. Buddha Shakyamuni gave these teachings in Mahayana teachings, Panjaparamata teachings, and as well as then in Vajrayana teachings. So great master, particularly Majik Labdung, kind of combined the sutra, essence of the Mahayana sutra teaching and the Vajrayana teaching, joined together and made as Chuk practices. It's become so popular in Tibet. And then later on, this Chuk lineage practice of the Majik Labdung kind of merged to all schools of Tibetan Buddhism, to the Nyingma, to the Kaji, to the Saja, to the Gelug, everywhere really began to practices that. So it's kind of merged to everyone. But this practice has become so powerful, and this is also by these practices. Again in the Buddha's teaching in the Setsayangata, very famous teaching Buddha taught, Panjaparamata teaching known as the Setsayangata, which has a 300 stanza teaching. In there, Buddha said in that teachings, by the 4 powers, then at the Bodhisattva with very skillfully, courageous, will overcome the 4 demons. From the 4 demons, those 4 powers are understanding the perfect meaning of the emptiness, and understanding or keeping the perfect meaning of the bodhicattas, and maintaining perfect moralities, and then as well as perfect lineage teachings. Maintain. Those are the 4 powers. If you maintain that again, if I summarize this, and then understand of the emptiness with the bodhicitta, with good conduct, and with the lineage practices, then you will overcome 4 demons. 4 demons has many different, again, in the teachings that many of you already heard. Those are known as the first, like very general 4 demons in the Buddha teaching mentioned. This is demon of the aggregates, demon of the emotions, demon of the death, demon of the distractions. Those are the 4 demons. This, and particularly in the Mati Labdung's teaching, there is 4 demons. This is the same thing, but she named slightly different ways. Or it's not just a hey, but again in the Buddha teaching too. Those are known as tangible demons, untangible demons, and demon of the excitements, and demon of attachment, demon of the attachments. So tangible demon, untangible demon, and excitement demon, and attachment demons. Those are the 4 demons that in the Chuk practices. And this is, again, if we have the realization and maintain a perfect meaning of the great emptiness and bodhicitta, good conduct, and keeping the lineage teaching exactly as it, overcome these 4 demons, called demons. At the same time, we can cleanse and purify those 4 demons. Whether in the general Buddha teaching as a demon of the aggregate, demon of the of the emotions, demon of the death, demon of the distractions, or demon of that is generally. And specifically, again, two practices, demon of the tangible, untangible, and excitement and attachment, or the ego clinging. That will be removed by this. So, with this understanding, then you can give everything to every living beings. Your body, your speech, and your physical, and even your mind is love and compassion without any restriction to all the sentient beings, and also without any holding back. Endless. Here said, I give without clinging to all the beings. Also endless. It's not just going to end there just one time. You multiply it according to meditation practice, endless and total satisfaction to every living beings. Not just something that you give and end it. You give continually unending generosity practices with your meditation and satisfy everyone to the perfect status. Perfect status. So, parents, that. So that is what? Giving the without clinging, and that is again charity of the body, which means condense the meaning of the two practices, and then delegate the merit. May I accomplish it. May I accomplish it. The great benefit, unobstructed for all beings, is dedicating merit. Again, we start this practice with bodhicitta, kindness, compassion, thought, thinking of all living beings. We're going to conclude this entire practice with again with the love and kindness and compassion to every living being. Whatever I gain from this, my practice, meditation, sitting this, that energy, whatever, may I share that to all living beings to remove their suffering, the difficult troubles, to everlasting of their love, happiness and joy and peace. Peace, may eventually everyone reach enlightenment by my these practices. Really wishing sincerely from depth of our heart, and dedicating that merit. So that is briefly instructions of this two practices and the dedication practices. Now we kind of completed everything and very briefly. And so if you like to some questions, I'm happy to discuss, but it's 5 o'clock already. So okay, thank you. Sorry. Any question? No. Oh, okay.
Rinpoche, I don't have time in the morning to do all of these at once. Can I break it, like do refuge in the morning and do the rest when I come back from work? Or I cannot do that?
No, you can do. Definitely, you can do anything with what suits you with your schedule. But however, as I said, this morning or this whenever that, you always do practices first. When you, for example, when you practices, get up in the morning or sit on your cushion, and now you're going to bring more joy and more appreciations. And the appreciations of your life, your situation, circumstance, kind of really how lucky, how beautiful, how precious is. Think of that. And then if you can also reflect of the, everything is like kind of impermanent, and thinking of that. And that true thought, among those 4 train of the mind, at least if we can bring that true thoughts, that very strongly that. And then everything is connected, everything is kind of really very connected, all this. So what may I become very thoughtful for every my actions, and then I doing this may the benefit for all the sentient beings. Kind of that thought, just for the 1 minute or so, 1.5 minutes, you can think of that 4 thoughts, and then with that, and you feel strong presence of the Guru Padmasambhava, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas right in front of the sky, and take refuge and develop the bodhicittas, and then. If you have to, if that will, for example, that chanting that 3 times, it won't take long times. But if you still you have some times, and then you start. If you have time to do all these things, for example, like 3 times, and chant the Vajrasattva mantra maybe 7 times, a long time, 7 times, and a short one maybe 21 times, or 1 mala, or whatever. And after that, then you go to the Guru Yoga and again do those 3 times of practice, visualize, and then chant the mantra maybe 21 times or 1 mala, and then receive the blessings, meditate, and then maybe 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes. So, but if you have time, for example, 15 minutes or half an hour, then it can fit everything that. If that is like too many things to do that, then I will say again, do start with this four that reverse the mind practices, refuge and bodhicitta, and then go to the Guru Yoga and practice 7 lines. If you don't have time to do all of those prayers, chant the 7-line prayer 3 times, and with meditation, reciting mantra 21 times, 1 mala, and then receive that blessings, all that, and then meditate for 5 minutes and dedicate the merit, and that also kind of, then you're not doing all those things, so many things one after another, just really meditate in a simple for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Okay?
Kurt had a question back. Kurt?
Behind the bushes over here.
Yes, yeah.
You can pull the bushes. So, in our Ngondro practice, we're focused on Guru Yoga, and we've completed that. We've done our 100,000 mantras. How do we know which practice to move on to next?
Actually, this is generally, next is, then after the Guru Yoga practices, have you completed the Guru Yoga practices according to the repetition of number of according to the instructions, then you really move to the then refuge and the postration together. Move to the refuge and the postrations. When you finish that refuge and postration, then you move to the maybe to the bodhicitta, or you can move to the Vajrasattva practice. I mean, you can choose which you like, or we can discuss that, but that's what we should do. Then first, so after you finish the Guru Yoga practices, then go to the refuge and postrations. And even you're doing refuge and postration, you do the bodhicitta practice 3 times, and others also maybe 3 times, and 7 times a mantra, Vajrasattva mantra, and then focus to the refuge and postrations.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Then we do short meditation, and then I'm going to give the transmission of these practices, and that is again, of course, maybe there is a few people, some people are on this what's called streaming this according the I think generally transmission we can do through the streamings, but also definitely the blessings. So I will give this generally transmissions and empowerment. Those are always direct contact according to mostly teachings. Of course, some great higher lamas, high grade teachers maybe can do those things. But however, in the regular way is the transmission, empowerment, all that really comes direct kind of contact each others, and then receive the transmissions. But however, I will do today, and we can count as blessings those who are kind of in the far distances, and otherwise I will give these transmissions to him. Okay, and we all meditate, and then I will give this transmission. I will just read this.
Monseran Zene Dorjo, Mo, Durkimi Bonsa, Yakata, Janderson, Roving, you Raki, Dorjo, Losorone, Jimmy, the Ding, just after the Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche, Meron, Young without some Hero, Kaji Lazorane, you for the Sunny, Young Rasichu, Savala Maya Lazorane, Padmasambhava Marum, Mojada, repeating, and a courage and Bego, Kosovo, the Mobile, Mother, my Namasanga. Jin the Magasan, she is darkest and yellow, Macedo, Metangore, Masno, Magarani. So, Catalamana, Sorwa, the Umiji, Young, Savala Majola, on the Padmasambhava Marum, with the Karachimagunik of the Kosovo, those are Jamus, Nyingma, Odon, Shuragatan, the Gan of Marajan, my Dorgan, I am Mosonio, Torangama, the Roba, you will Lama, you don't know the Gomas, the Warsan, 해도 유선을 들어만 살아 여가 여러분 저거만 런던 전화줘 보고 이제부터 이도 여러 너무 결혼 번이면 나랑 예수가 살아서 나기 뭐냐 와서도 갖고 해놓으면 이분이 마스다라 마당에 든 적이 있었는 게 뭐 되기는 뭐 맞아 그러고 가면 너무 꾸미라야 아버지 사진도 되는 마다 이게 그거는 다른 세대 식번 너무 이 마소니 지내는 마세다 가는서 내가 어저 이 남자선으로 고난 대담에 더트기 라마 줄에 다음에 나 관원이 너무 힘 못하면서 원선 거기서 가서도 그 파일 너무 있고 있는 코너미 너무 이렇게 보인도록 도 이미 주연으로도 그래서 야다나서 문제는 너들이 마음들이 다다변에 저서로 이제 이도 열어서 그런데도 이제 좀 그런데 맞아서 연동 거지로 너는 뭐 믿는 거 뭐 믿는 길만 지면 결례 주는 가는 거라던 건 이제 내달로 주는 저 버려 되면 주는 뭐니 먹는 걸 당 가지고 너는데 너 가지고 거 사원 걸 너만 거를 뭐 나온 거서 요거는서 용어들 너만 거지도 지라는 이 메시지를 봐야 좀 무슨 나는 그런 걸 마지샘지 근데 번들이 예사에서 마서도 많은 번은 사원 거지 하는 대로 우리 손유도 그는 기행하네 몰라는 여들도 있는데 맨 삼는 게 너무 걸 오면서 소문이 많은 번면서 다들 모습이 무슨 하나로 서로 그래서 이제 와서 매달 몸에 만들면서 들도 매년 문게 옛날에 길어지는 매달사도 어디도 안 되는 이도서는 그냥 뭐라 요나 아니다서는 뭐는 사올만 보고 있는 사람이 말인데 사올만 주는 사람 대선 지점으로도 매달 거를 마세도 매달 거를 마서 매달 거를 마시게도 잠깐만 되고 매달 거가 야고가서다 기용하기라 하더라 뭐 이런 하나님은 또 일하면 그냥 뭐라 야네 나와 보내 거 보면 말아서 뭐 이제 벌써 이렇게 나가 너만 너만 영원에 달을 그냥 뭐냐 rol시성 호모네데 유도 거는 거 지금 미기 뭐냐 하는 거 너무 있는 거서 선언이라 이들 예배로 해주던다기 이제 지금 그래서 일하러 거는 로리머 산이 된 바닥에 이제 버려요 해라서 소명 가서 저러 제 동료들 좀 걸어서 이런 걸로 저러 주저 소는 저러 예배 홀로려도 보면 통만에 차례는 med이 무슨 통관 그런 거 뭐지 다히디 소나로 제대니다 인도 서로는 현안하고 프라히디 제단들아들 효
Okay. Now we start page, I believe 7, I think. Page 8.
Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche, Nyingma Tendren Tarsen Zode Juga Mandala Offering, Durga Pimjo Yayam Tuzin, Bela Palden Janjo Yansi Kara Tendo Pimde Don Nyanjarai Joy Kara Rawe Korwe Shangansu Pende Deva Mali Yumen Jeres White and the Jamso Ye Chape Karje Par Tenjoro Om Yedepen Norden Jedom Kurlo Samje Banjara de Sanchi Matan so Namjara Jo by this merit may all obtain omniscient, may defeat the enemy around from the stormy waves of birth, the origin, sickness, and death. From the ocean of the samsara, may I free all beings. May the source of benefit and happiness with us live for a long time. May the victor banner of the lives of the noble ones and the holders of the teachings remain firm. May all the time the monasteries recitations of Dharma Buddha, may Sangha always seems may their aspiration be achieved. So remedies with suffering, infinite beings. May remedy for the ways of the some of the opinion when you do my emergency because Solakan Kadachi yelling Taukin, Tenizon, don't win the death of you want getting your enemies in the imagine your Rowan and cinema, your Rowan, same with them there, Sayasumaka, when you mono, don't get the young woman,
By understanding the Dharma and practicing its innermost essence, in that life and crossing the oceans of sorrow. In samsara may expound the holy doctrine, may not hear the more desire and knowledge of others. By my own tremendous and partial service of others, may the humanity together. May the Lord Spirit of God glorifies the teachings be firm. May the noble ones evolve the teachings encompass the earth. May the prosperity and dominion of the teachings increase. May the teachings auspiciously remain for all time. Pervading the entire universe. Let the essence of all the teachings of the victorious ones. Great charity to the secret weapon and the teachings of the early translations global. Emanation of the Khenchen Palden great Tibetan Buddhism, may your profound treasure pervade the entire world. May the great tradition of increase and spread throughout the great round world. May the appearance of the rituals and the minds of human beings remain inseparable and the divine well-being throughout the great times. May practitioners of profound and secret great perfection remain inseparable from the innermost one taste awareness of wisdom mind.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again. Thank you very much again for having this opportunity to be discussing the teaching of the Buddha Dharma, as I said this morning, and organized. So thank you very much. Again, I like to all the Sangha members of the Palm Beach Dharma Center, as well as the friends of the Palm Beach Dharma Centers and the Dharma Centers, and all the practitioners, and again, and the board members. And thank you very much, everyone, to organize and have this event. So I'm so really thankful to everyone. Okay, thank you again. And of course, whenever you practice Ngondro already, this practices, so I don't have to say please. I have to say please continually practice this, complete this, and not just a practice. Even after you completed this Ngondro practice, really keep this practice Ngondro practice as a foundation part practice of the whatever you practice. That was very special and meaningful of our practices. And this, for example, Great Master, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche also finished so many times in Ngondro practices. And Great Master Papa Rinpoche, I heard from Great Master such as Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche and others, he used to practice all the time, finished many times in Ngondro practices. So Ngondro, and then so many other Great Masters, these practices. As I said, this Ngondro practice, these 4 rivers, that will mind, the training of the mind, always kind of reflect that even before the sessions of the practices, for example, really kind of precious lives, impermanent, and the cause and every result effects are inevitable, samsara is the nature of the difficult troubles, reflect that thought. I said this morning, if we reflect that, it will make our hearts more warmer, more softer, more tender, and we become very practical in a common sense level, in a samsara level too. And then also it will make practice so fresh, so strengthening. Many times the practitioners kind of start with very enthusiasm, very energetic, and then almost kind of that fading away that. Because why? It's also not reflecting enough, these four reflections, thoughts. If we really reflect that, our practice will become so fresh, so energetic, so rewarding. We don't have to feel regret when we look back to our lives. We're doing something so good and beautiful, we're moving forward. So therefore, this Ngondro practice is so special, so beautiful, and I again am so thankful to all of you already practiced and completed that. So wonderful, so beautiful. But I also like to encourage those who are really starting now, please practice this. This is embodiment of entirely Buddha teaching. As I repeat many times, and whenever you already know that. So it's so special. That means we are touching to our own nature, our own beauty, glorifying that, making meaning for our mind lives, meaning for our lives, meaning for also somebody's lives or others, those who we are associated with our friend and family member, and then Father, to all the sentient beings. So therefore, thank you. Okay, please let you do the practice as much as you can. And also I thank very much everyone. Again, maybe there's someone watching this event, and I wish you all and thank you very much your joyful effort and courage, your commitment, willingness, and watching and be with us, even though according to Buddha, in enlightenment means there is no difference between time and space, all in one instant state. But now even we don't have that realization. In modern time, we are all together in one single rooms and discussing, chatting, and feeling everyone thought each other. So it's wonderful. I wish you, it's so beautiful. I wish you all the great happiness, health, the beautiful to everyone. Happy in health, beauty, and fulfillment in our beautiful lives, something that we make so difference. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Adios. Adios. Thank you. Thank you. And what's it called? That's it. And adios and hasta luego. Hasta luego, hasta mañana. Thank you. And then I have some gift to you all. Oh, yeah, please, you have some announcement? Thank you. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Rinpoche, I have been given the humble task of expressing to you this afternoon the immense gratitude of this, our Sangha. Please know that I speak for everyone here today when I say that my words convey the deeply heartfelt sentiment among everyone in this space. We are forever grateful to you, your guidance, your compassion, and your blessings. Thank you for your words of wisdom, your encouragement, and your trust in us. And thank you for bringing the teachings of the great masters to our untrained minds. Please know that your kind heart, your tender smile, and your steady patience are the light that continuously illuminates our path. In this day, you have brought to us the Ngondro practice, bringing us closer to the entire Buddha teachings and the teachings of the great Padmasambhava. We commit to you to work with encouragement, devotion, and joy in order to uncover our true nature and for the benefit of all sentient beings. You are our Guru, our teacher. In you we take refuge.
Thank you very much for kind words. Thank you.
And I present to you this gift from the Sangha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone again. This beautiful thing. Thank you. And then I have a gift to you all. Please come up. And you have some announcement? Sorry.
Just to represent.
Yes, please.
Just wanted to send an invitation to everyone for next Saturday, November 1st, to join Venerable Rinpoche and the Palm Beach Dharma Center to our Fall Gala event, Share the Dream, Raise the Gompa, at 6 p.m. And it will not be held here. It will be held at the Lucerne Lake Swim Club. This is a time of celebration commemorating the fruition of Venerables Rinpoche's dream, Palden Sherab Rinpoche Retreat Center. And it's a time to now turn our energies towards its ongoing development, the building of the Gompa that will be our shrine room. So we hope you will come and enjoy an evening of delightful company. Our food, entertainment, there will be a silent auction, as you have heard, of Tibetan Buddhist and Asian art, artifacts, jewelry. And there are invitations in the living room, along with directions for how to get there, and those have all the information you need. We ask that you please RSVP so that we know how many are coming, and there is a list on the counter for that. So we hope that you'll join us for this evening. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a real time of celebration, and time to pray together and celebrate the blessings we've been giving and the blessings that we are planting the seeds for the future. Also, Lama Lorraine will be leading us in the annual Nyingma retreat Saturday through Monday morning, November 8th through 10th. And this is a traditional Buddhist meditation practice based on the Buddha of compassion known as the Thousand-Armed Chenrezig. And it's a profound and powerful practice of silence and fasting that purifies karma and accumulates merit and wisdom. There are also flyers available in the living room for this practice as well. So, and for those of you who are taking refuge after Venerable Rinpoche has bestowed his generous gift to us, please join Kalas in the Lotus Room, and he will help you to get settled for that very beautiful opportunity. So, thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. Thank you. Yeah, please come up. This is what I said here. This is His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, which is a photo and his handwriting, his teaching. Or maybe you have, few of you already have, but this is very kind of sized nicely, and we can put with our IDs. IDs here. What is said here is his own handwriting. Is in Tibetan, but it's translated here. Look at this photo, then look at your mind. Look at the one who is looking. If you see this, you are the excellent ones. So that's it. Please come up. Om Ahum Bendarangura Bimasidi 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 Om Ahum.
That's for you. When you look at it, it helps you with the level of your sugar in your body.
Om Ahum Bendarangura Bimasidi 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 Om Ahum Bimasidi Om Ahum Bendarangura 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 Bimasidi
Om Bendarangara Pima Sede 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 Om